Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire. We're fantasy players. We become fantasy legends. We are back, baby.
We're back. Sorry, guys. I had a little vacation.
Dude, I mean, the holidays were tough, and my schedule was crazy too, and it was a lot going on. And, you know, I know all of you come here for your fantasy football news.
We don't have to anymore. It's over.
Yeah, that was over, so we thought we'd give you a break. And my bookie kept calling me, and they were like, we need you on this Super Wild Card weekend. What's going on? And I was like, listen, back the Brinks truck up, and we'll show up. So, you know, this is on you, my bookie. You know, back the Brinks truck. Yeah, show us the money.
The money.
But yeah, man, what a week we missed, too. It would have been a great week to have a show
last week.
Because we had a week 18 with some pretty monumental fucking things that went down.
Yeah, that Vegas and Chargers game was insane.
Yeah, the Chargers game at the very end. Man, if you tie, you both go in.
Well, not just that, but
you call a timeout that doesn't make any sense.
The Raiders weren't calling timeout. All they were doing was running the ball.
They kind of were like, okay, we'll tie.
Yeah,
and then
or the Chargers, just stop the run. How
the Chargers call the timeout, and it's like, okay, so then, yeah, I mean, I understand what the Raiders did. Then they're like, well, fuck it. Well, if you're going to do this,
they got a field goal.
Here you go. Here's another bit of Josh Jacobs, and we'll win this game.
Yeah.
But that just shows you why I broke up with the Bay Bear. He's the Hey Bear and those Chargers. I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling my Cincinnati Bengals, though. But no, what else happened in Week 18? So we had that. We had the Chargers. We had that Rams and the Niners game that was good.
The Rams to make the playoffs.
And Jimmy G looked good in that game.
He's hurt now, apparently.
And boy, did he look good. Well, he looked okay. He looked okay. He almost
actually, apparently, I didn't get to watch the game, but Jimmy G fucked up to give the Cowboys the ball back to even give them the chance.
Yeah, we'll get to that game. We'll get to that game because I'm so over listening to the Cowgirls complain about like you lost 3/4 of that game. Like there was only like 5 minutes that you played well in the entire game, and you could chalk that up to that they were tired from kicking your ass. The San Francisco's defense fucked you up for the entire game.
Bosa got
Bosa he went out in like the second quarter, and they still were beating the fuck out of him. Yeah, so Dallas.
We talked about that a few weeks ago when San Francisco's defense started really turning it on, and it makes a huge difference.
Kyle Shanahan's a smart coach too. Like
nice guy too.
He realized towards the end of this year when Jimmy G and Trey Lance were both kind of banged up, and he realized what he had in Deebo Samuel. Yeah, and he was like, we're going to run it with him. We're going to throw it to him. And I warned the Cowgirls fan last week. I said, say his name. His name is Deebo Samuel.
Deebo.
Good fucking luck, because you are not going to be able to stop him, and they could not stop him. They put Trayvon Diggs on him, couldn't stop him. Micah Parsons was in and out of the game. I guess we're already talking about it, but another Week 18, the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh yeah, we forget. We got to talk about that.
Holy shit, man. Well, you know, and they had two bad weeks because Week 17 they fucked it up.
Yeah,
and
they had
lost.
to win one of the last two games,
and they
against
lost.
Vegas and against Jacksonville.
And the Vegas game was close, and they were in that game, but Jacksonville beat the fuck out of them, and
still, it's just weird. Like 3 weeks ago, the Colts were the team that nobody wants to play.
Well, Carson Wentz started doing Carson Wentz things. He started throwing interceptions. He started fumbling
he
the
had
ball.
Like the worst game of his fucking career against Jacksonville.
Yeah,
right? I mean, like that's what I was telling Ernest. I was like, this is it. Like,
this is who Carson Wentz is.
Yeah,
and when you get to the playoffs, the great thing about having a running back is that, yes, it's good if you can have a little bit of balance and you can run the ball. You can get positive yardage. If Brady can get 100 yards out of his running back in a playoff game, whoo, that's amazing. Or from all of his running backs, amazing. We did our job. Because he knows, I'm going to have to throw the ball a couple of times in this game. And when they got down in this Jacksonville game and it turned into, okay, Carson, you're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more. He's not the guy. He's not the guy. I see them getting rid of him. We'll talk about it in Josh's quarterback carousel.
But yeah, Indy's collapses. Absolutely nuts.
Unbelievable. So I talked about it in a little bit of my show, the individual show that I did about Week 17 when Antonio Brown
lost his shit. But did you see why though?
Yeah, I saw. I mean, now
they're trying to fuck him out of money.
Okay. Okay.
Well, here's the thing.
So you fucked yourself out of money because you were such a fucktard out there in the real world that he went and he looked for other places. Yeah. Don't think that he went into free agency and he was like, I'm only going back to the Buccaneers for this fucking veteran minimum bullshit ass deal where I'm going to have all these incentives built in. No, that was because you were such a fucking idiot. That was the only fucking place they would take you because the only guy that vouched for you is the GOAT is sitting there saying, I need him, bring him on in. And so I watched him on his little podcast that he did, Antonio Brown. First of all, he's out of his fucking mind because did you see Mike Evans? Mike Evans in this last game.
Stop.
Mike Evans. Antonio Brown in this podcast that he went and did, I don't know what it's called, but he went and did a podcast like 2 days after. And he was talking about, I'm the best receiver on the team. Let's be honest. Who else gets him going? I was like, hold on. First of all, Mike Evans is definitely better than all of them. Yeah. And that's no slight to Godwin or Antonio Brown. I think both of those guys are great receivers. But if you see Mike Evans took a cut in Tom Brady coming to the team. Because before Tom Brady got there, this dude was making Pro Bowls left and right. He's the only receiver, Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, nobody. He's the only receiver to do 8 seasons of 1,000 yards in a row.
Oh, really?
His first 8 seasons to be 1,000 yards. He's the only person. Randy did it 7,000 and Jerry Rice did it 7,000, but he did it for 8. Mike Evans is a beast, and Antonio Brown can kick rocks with the idea that he's better. Mike Evans is bigger than you. He's that big wide receiver that you need on the outside that runs great routes. Yeah. He killed the Eagles,
you throw the fucking ball up to, and he's going to go get it.
Mike Evans.
He's the reason Johnny Manziel even got into the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. He made Johnny Manziel who he is because Mike Evans made some fucking incredible catches on that fucking A&M team. Yeah, so Antonio Brown can kick rocks with this whole idea.
But still, I do think that if they were purposefully not putting him in the game just because he was so close to hitting the incentives, that's kind of fucked up.
I hear all these things of like, okay, well, it's my ankle was hurt. Oh, well, he wanted his incentives. Well, there was a conversation between him and Tom Brady where he said, so I see you're going back to your boy Gronk. There was a conversation between him and Bruce Arians where Bruce Arians told him, if you're not going to go in, then get the fuck out of here. He went to the medical team and he got cleared by all the medical team before the game. I mean, he had 5 catches. Listen, if he got hurt, that's one whole storyline. If he got hurt, then that's what it was, and maybe there was all these conversations that happened.
Doesn't then make sense that he blew up.
It doesn't make sense that he blew up.
If you're hurt, they weren't telling you to go in the game, right?
If it's the incentive side of things. In the week,
he had another week.
In the week
too,
16, yeah, in another week, and in week 16, he had 10 catches on 15 targets that Tom Brady lit him up in because just like last year, they got him his money last year because Tom Brady forced him the ball. They got Gronk his money because they forced him the ball. Yeah. Bruce Arians and Tom Brady are not the people that are like, hey, man, listen, this is where the game's going. No, fuck it. We're ballers. We're up by a lot. We've already won our division. If I have to force feed you the ball, I will. I very much doubt. But I do know this. In the midst of a game, in the heat of battle, if you go up to Tom Brady and you're like, hey, man, I'm not getting the ball. It's not the right thing to do because he's not the right one. He is a grown fucking man that's going to tell you to get the fuck out of his face. He's the quarterback. He knows who to throw it to. Don't ever say anything to him like what did he say to Mike Vrabel? Mike Vrabel came up to him and was like, hey, man, throw me the ball. And he was like, hey, I'm the quarterback. I know who the fuck is open. If you ever come to me like that again, I'll never throw you the ball again. It was like, holy shit. Did you see the new
nasty. I'm
Man
like 3 weeks
arena?
behind.
Oh, God, they're all
the last one I watched was the Seattle one.
Oh, that one was great. But the one with Gronk is probably my favorite one.
Okay, then I don't know why I didn't text you last night. I was like, I need to text Josh.
But the one with Gronk is actually the Philadelphia Eagles one. So it's a loss, and you hear them both kind of talk about
the second Eagles one.
Yeah. Yeah, in the second Eagles one where they lost.
Gotcha.
So the loss
that's
is
the one where you didn't want Tim, or you didn't go to Tim's house.
Yeah.
Or no, you didn't want him over. I can't remember where we watched this.
No, yeah, I didn't want Tim there. Yeah, that's absolutely. I did not want Tim there because I didn't want him to crush me if Tom Brady did get that win. Julian Edelman is on the last one too, and that one's really good. Julian Edelman's the only guest on this new one.
Oh, right.
And I was looking for it this morning because it's Tuesday, but it wasn't on there, and I'm fucking mad about it because I was going to watch it. But let's see.
I'm only 2 behind then.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
the Philly.
Well, there should be now. There should be one out today. There should be one out today, but there wasn't. But this one will be the very end of the 9th one. You see him in his Tampa Bay jersey, and so then you get excited for that.
I didn't even think about this before. But do you think Tom went to Tampa just because they have the same initials?
Man, if he did, it's fucking amazing.
Like, well, TB.
No, I mean, and I'll bring it up here when we get to the quarterback carousel. But I think Tom is a genius of football, and I think that he analyzed, first of all, the other team that we now know for a fact that he went to was his hometown. He went to the Niners, and they passed on him.
Oh, really?
And
I didn't know that.
Another genius move of football by Tom. He saw all you need is a quarterback.
Oh, yeah. If he
you have everything else. I got this. Yeah. I'll get y'all up over George Kittle. Fucking Debo, the Ayuk. Running backs, the fucking defense with Bosa.
And let's not forget that fucking San Francisco lost most of their running backs.
Yeah, they're all gone. This is Elijah Mitchell, who's like a 6th-round pick, and it's not even Raheem Mostert and all the guys that they would want. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So Tom Brady originally chose San Francisco to go home and play there. Those fucking morons chose
to his
to
parents
not
still live there.
Who?
His parents. They still live in Cali?
They probably live in L.A. or wherever he has homes. Or I don't know.
Probably in Tampa.
I really couldn't tell you. Maybe they still live in Boston because I know some of his family just stayed in Boston because he moved them all there.
He was there for a
but yeah, what else did we miss out of Week 18? Nothing else.
I'm surprised that Culley got fired, honestly.
I'm very surprised that Culley got fired. A guy at work said... He said that they did it just to show that they'll hire a black coach. He was like, yeah, they just did that so that they could be like, yeah, see, we hired a black coach. Now get off our backs and let us go hire another. But I think they're going for Brian Flores, so that might not even be totally accurate. They might be going for.
I think that would be great.
I'm down with that.
I'm good with that. I just didn't think Culley did that bad of a job, and I would like to see him with some talent.
What did we expect out of no Deshaun Watson?
Well, we won 4 more games than I thought we were going to.
I thought we were going to be the worst team in the league, and we definitely weren't. And he had these guys playing. Also, shipped Whitney Merciless out of here.
Yeah. We cut him, didn't we?
We cut Zach Cunningham. Yeah. Like anybody, he kind of had a good culture thing going on where it's like, you're not going to fuck around just because you're on a bad team. Right. I like Zach Cunningham, but apparently he was a problem in the locker room. Really? So David Culley got rid of him. I'm like, okay, so we went from being we kind of stuck with Gary Kubiak for a really long time, and then we stuck with Bill O'Brien for a really long time, and now are we just going to jump around and be coach to coach and be the Jacksonville Jaguars? Like,
or the fucking Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, we don't need to be we need to be an organization that just kind of sticks with something and finds something that works. I truly hope that we're getting Deshaun Watson to stay. I don't think that it's happening, but if not, you got to find somebody who's going to bring in a new quarterback and start over with him, and we're clearly on a restart, but I thought Culley did a good job. I was surprised by that. I was really surprised by that. And I put him down there because I'm into this too. I'm into Brian Flores because but I'm also into Jim Harbaugh.
I wouldn't mind Harbaugh. They were saying that he's going to go to Vegas. Maybe?
Yeah, Vegas makes the most sense because
Let's get Gruden. Fuck it.
Oh, man, that dude's done. He's done. Nobody's ever going to...
No, somebody was talking about bringing him in.
No way. I mean, how can he get fired for this? It's like a weird... So then
because Vegas fired him because they didn't want the fucking
The cancel culture doesn't make sense then if that's what happens. Or Miami. Miami would be a really good job to take right now, too, because I think they're on the cusp. I think they're a couple of good picks away. They're a free agent sign away from being a good team. Miami would be another good job. Vegas is a good job. I don't say... The Texans is necessarily not the greatest job right now. I mean, you're in a restart, so maybe good for Culley. Maybe he'll go find something better.
Somebody was interviewing fucking Bill O'Brien for a head coaching position
after what happened in Alabama. Are you kidding me? After the way that fucking after he's terrible in college and he's terrible in the what did you see? He traded DeAndre Hopkins for a 4th round pick.
Talk about somebody else that made a bunch of money off of Tom Brady.
Yeah, fucking Bill O'Brien. Yeah, he's in the man in the arena, and you just see how much of a fuck up he was. You fucked up Tom Brady.
I just let Tom call the plays.
Yeah,
he's like, I'll just whatever Tom. I'll let
most of the
him.
time I just nodded my head and said yes, sir.
Tom said do this, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
I put his dick in my little butt chin, and I just let it happen. So interesting week 18. Some really great games. Some games that didn't matter at all. Red Zone totally stepped it up here at the last couple of weeks. They knew what was up. They did not show me trash games. They just showed me the games that mattered, and I appreciate it. Brought to you by Red Zone. And so we got to the Super Wild Card Weekend. And I was super pumped. There was a lot of really great matchups. I thought all the games were going to be really close,
and they really weren't, honestly.
No, there was only a few that were close. Only the first one. This first Vegas versus the Bengals. That was a good close game. It was on at work, and I was tuning in for what I could, and I came home and watched a lot of the highlights. And look, Derek Carr.
He's the same thing. He's the same quarterback. He's Carson Wentz.
He's not good enough to get you there. Right. And Joe Burrow is. And Joe Burrow balled out. And Joe Burrow had a great game. And Joe Mixon had a good game. And I love these Bengals. You know, they're going to be a tough out. They're going to be a tough out. I have a...
Who they got next week?
Tennessee.
Is Henry coming back?
Yeah.
Is he going to play?
Yep. Derek.
I'm rooting for Tennessee now.
I hear you, and I totally understand that, and I understand Vegas making them a favorite. They're at home. They've been the number 1 seed.
I just want to see fucking Henry run over motherfuckers and get his dues.
I'm pulling for my guys. I'm pulling for my Bengals that have really impressed me this year. A lot of them have really impressed me. T. Higgins, a couple of guys on that defensive side too that are really killing it. Like
they're good, and they got a good young coach.
Yeah, I like the Bengals, but the Bengals came out and they got the win with a late interception on Derek Carr.
Okay.
Derek Carr, I mean, if you're Vegas and you are looking to take that team over, you got to be thinking about either A, drafting a new quarterback. I don't know if there's one in this draft, or B,
there's not very many quarterbacks at all in this draft.
No, and I think that there's. Well, we'll talk about it. I'm so excited about my carousel.
I keep looking at
my madness that I made up.
It is absolutely madness.
It's madness. But I'll explain. So then New England and Buffalo, the divisional game of Saturday night that I thought this is going to be a close game, man. This is going to be a good battle.
The third meeting.
These guys are really going to
on the other one's home field.
And Buffalo beat the fuck out of them.
Allen threw 5 touchdowns, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Right?
They scored on every single possession except for one. They scored 7 possessions in a row.
Against that defense, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and Mac Jones.
Good for Buffalo, though. Good for Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, I kind of like Buffalo going into this, the rest of these playoffs. I mean,
if they play like that,
I can make a case for them if they play like that, right?
Well, this is going to be a good test for them.
This is a great test
because
it's a great test
they got their asses kicked last year.
Yep.
In the championship game.
But I don't see the same Buffalo team.
Well, they have the number 1 scoring defense, so that's got to help.
Yeah, and their defense, that interception, that first interception that Micah Hyde had or whatever that was incredible. He fucking stretched out for it. It was incredible. But yeah, Buffalo absolutely stomped them out.
And it seems as though they finally found a running game,
and New England,
the last few fucking weeks of the season.
I get it, what New England has done. I think Mac Jones is serviceable. I don't think he's a championship winner, but I think he's a serviceable quarterback. But you're going to have to go find more weapons because at the end of the day, Jacoby Myers and Kendrick Bourne and Hunter Henry, it wasn't enough in this game. Their defense just shut you down. And they didn't let you run the ball, which is what you wanted to do. They just absolutely popped you in the mouth from the very beginning. They Bill Belichicked them. And Belichick after the game did you see his, it was 5 seconds long. He walked up and said, "We didn't play well enough today, and they did play well." And he walked off. It was like, all right. Man, I'll tell you what, and the man in the arena, too, Tom Brady had a he had a chance in his documentary to talk shit, to say that Belichick was a fucking curmudgeon to work with, and he didn't. Yeah. He paid tribute to him. Yeah. He talked about how great he was. He talked about that he couldn't have had a better coach for his career. And I was like, man, this fucking guy, This fucking guy can't get any better. And then he comes in at 44 years young. They've got people walking up to me at work. Yeah, I don't know how he's good. I feel like I've been stuck in a fucking time loop for the past
like 6 years.
20 years where people walk up to me and say,
Brady's
I
done.
don't think Brady's got it this year. He doesn't got enough weapons and he's got everybody hurt and they haven't been playing very good. I mean, the 15 points that Philly scored in this were late.
It was late. It was 31
It was
to nothing
very,
forever.
very late in the game. They were making an argument that Tom should have been taken out of the game. The announcers were calling for it in the third quarter.
Yeah.
They were like, they should just pull everybody out of the game. Why do you want to get anybody hurt? Because they absolutely annihilated them. This was with no Leonard Fournette.
Is he coming back?
Yep, he's possibly, and it's probable for this game. And I don't even give a fuck because
Dude, if they
Tom
get Fournette
Brady
back-
has shown you that I will do that. I won Super Bowls with white people, with Danny Amendola and Chris Hogan and Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski. Now the last two, in my opinion, are Hall of Famers, and I love them. But the first two, Danny Amendola and Chris Hogan, are white people. Those are
Remember
white people.
that year that Hogan had a great year that year?
Yeah,
and
you know
then that
why?
was his only fucking
You know
good
why?
year.
Because Tom Brady was throwing him the fucking rock, and Tom Brady can make anybody look good. He made Tyler Johnson look good yesterday. He will fucking figure it. And you know what he did? He just went, okay, no Antonio Brown, no Chris Godwin. Hey, Gronk and Mike Evans.
Well, and they were only
It's
putting
coming to
Gronk
you.
in whenever they needed it. Like, I don't think Gronk played more than like 20 snaps.
He had to have some good. I mean, I saw
He was always in there in the red
4 or 5
zone.
catches. I
and
mean,
he was
had the
there on
touchdown.
third downs. Yeah, when they needed yards,
And that's the
is when
thing is
Gronk
that
was
Tom is going to find him. He's going to find, and this is what makes me laugh about the Rams saying, "Oh, look what we did. We shut down DeAndre Hopkins. We made
Hopkins didn't play.
Oh, that's right.
Hopkins is the key to Arizona's offense.
He didn't play. Oh,
I don't think
that's
so.
a-
I mean, I'm almost positive.
I didn't
he
see him from it.
play.
I just thought, okay, then
I'm almost positive he did not. Play.
I did not honestly watch last night's game. I saw the score.
It's like the only one I did watch.
And I know that the Rams beat the fuck out of him, but I did not watch. And the Rams have a good defense. The problem is he got the ball off in 2 seconds in this Philadelphia game. 2 seconds. That is so fast. It's the fastest.
he didn't play.
It's been the fastest he's been, Tom Brady's been, since 2016.
Under 2 seconds or something?
2 seconds was the average that he got the ball off in this Philadelphia game. So, okay, great. You have Aaron Donald and you have Von Miller. You're not going to get there. You're not going to get there. I mean, you will once or twice, but to consistently rely on. And here's the thing: Kyler Murray was running for his life because he was trying to extend the play. He was trying to do things that Tom Brady's not going to do.
And I think that's where Hopkins comes in, because same thing as what Deshaun did a couple years ago is that if you needed 3 or 4 yards, it was going to Hopkins.
Yep.
And everybody knew it, and there wasn't shit you could do about it.
Nothing you could do about it.
And
he was throwing
Murray
it before
was the same
Hopkins was
way,
turning
because I remember
around.
watching back probably like week 9 or 10 when Hopkins
just
went
Hopkins.
out. He made that badass move. He was hurt, or he was coming off an injury. Made a badass move, tweaked his hamstring or whatever. Went out, and all of a sudden their fucking offense is trash.
Well, the throw that he made, the pick six at the very beginning that made it 21-0.
He should have just taken the fucking
take the safety at that point. But that was the end of the game.
Yeah.
As far as I was watching it at work, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna. This game is over.
You could feel the whole.
Yeah, it was just like, all right, they've killed him.
Did you see JJ Watt after the game?
No,
God, he looks old and all. Like, it didn't even look like JJ.
he's been through a lot of
I was like,
surgeries, man. A lot of surgeries, and
He just
the
looked-
life expectancy of a defensive end is not 20 years.
Yeah,
you know,
he's done.
this is the
It's
end.
sad,
So
but
yeah,
I remember
it is
his
sad.
rookie year coming in Del Frisco's going, holy
Oh, man.
fuck, look at that guy.
He's a hero in the city of Houston
Oh,
forever.
yeah.
Forever.
He can come back here, but he'll probably go to Chicago because that's where his wife plays.
Yeah, or
back to
I could
Wisconsin.
see him even. Yeah, maybe I was just about to say I could see him going to Green Bay.
in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think he would. I could see him going to Green Bay, especially or Pittsburgh to play with
he's
his
done,
brother,
bro.
Yeah, I know.
Why? He gets hurt.
With his brother.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, why would a team, unless you're just paying him nothing?
Well, I think the thing is he has made so much money. I think he will totally understandably take a discount.
I just think, I don't know.
And it's stupid to
I
go
know that he
somewhere
has
just for the
this
money.
drive to play, but I think he might just be tired of getting fucking hurt.
It's over. It's over. But yeah, Tom Brady absolutely stomped out, and I'm kind of jumping all over the place. But I did just talk about next week.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you think about Rams Tampa
Honestly,
Bay?
I just don't. I think the Cardinals were on. They were just downhill. Like they lost 5 of their last 6 games.
Yeah,
and the Rams took advantage of that, and they're not going to get that with Tampa.
I think it's a tight game.
It should come down to the end.
Yeah.
I can definitely see Brady getting the ball with 2 minutes left and fucking driving him down there and winning. But I can also see Stafford fucking this up.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the other side of this is that, yes, okay, Stafford finally got his first playoff win out of the 3 playoff appearances. Did you see the ridiculous picture of that all the quarterbacks that are in the Super Wildcard weekend had like 26 playoff wins, and he has 34.
Oh yeah. Well, the even better stat was the teams. It was like I think it's the Patriots, the Cowboys, the Steelers, somebody else, and then Brady. And he's only got 3 less wins than the Patriots.
Oh man, he's coming for all of them. And
yeah. Honestly, at the end of this
retiring? Is he retiring? Does he look like he's gonna retire?
He doesn't look any different.
No, he looks the same. He looks better. Honestly, he looks better because now he's such a cool, calm, collected guy that if something goes wrong, you almost see him look over to the side and go, "I got it. I understand." I will say
this one thing: they need Tristan Wirfs to get. Like if he's out. Because that Wells dude was not very
Here's
good
the thing,
on the right side.
The all that's true, but if 2 seconds is what we're operating with, if this is playoff Tom Brady and he's just said, I'm limited on people that I can throw to too. So now every play that I go into, I know where Mike Evans is and I know where Gronk is, and I'm going one of the 2 places because those are the things that make me happy. I mean, he was going to Mike Evans.
Giovanni Bernard was a big.
He liked that too. Yeah. He likes Giovanni Bernard a lot, and he played really well. Yep. They are probably not going to get wrong, but again. He made Keyshawn Vaughn in this game look pretty good. He had like 60 yards. So Tom Brady will win. It doesn't matter who it is. If you want to bet against Tom Brady,
I'm not betting against him.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll take Brady in the points.
Yeah, Brady with 3 points
I don't know, man. I can see the Rams have been. We've seen them do that shit this year where they're
they beat him in the regular season. They beat him in the regular season, which is the curse. If you beat him in the regular, the Rams beat the Buccaneers in the regular season. So if you beat him in the regular season, he beats you in the fucking He goes, oh, okay, cool, cute. I'm so glad you got that Week 4 win because I'm gonna kill you when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, I can't see the Rams.
And I just love the narrative of, and I do think that Green Bay will get the win in San Francisco. Skipping ahead here a little bit, but I think Green Bay should get the win.
They should.
I mean. I wouldn't be that surprised if San Francisco pulled it off. They're a good team. I could see them pulling it off.
I think Rodgers is on a mission.
Win. Yeah.
If Brady don't win it this year, Rodgers will.
No, but then that sets up Tom Brady going to Lambeau again and doing it again.
I can already see the look on fucking Rodgers' face. Look.
Rodgers is going to be like, oh, his little
sad eyes.
I can't get rid of this guy. I can't fucking shake this guy.
Boy, he picked the wrong fucking 10 years to play football.
And I hope that you do give Aaron Rodgers the MVP. Because nothing motivates my guy more.
They're gonna give it to him.
It's fucking poppycock. The first of all, the fact that only 3 quarterbacks, or maybe there's another one, but Drew Brees, Peyton Manning have ever led the league in all 3 categories. The way that Tom Brady did.
Percentage, yards,
He's 44 years old.
Well, not just that, but. Well, honestly, you can make the same case for both of them, but take them away, and that team sucks.
Okay, but. And if Aaron Rodgers plays when he's 44 years old, I will give him the same credit that I am giving to Tom Brady right now. Right. I will go, oh my God, this is unbelievable. I can't believe it. Especially
the problem is that Brady will be 49 and
he probably will still be going, and Aaron Rodgers will be long retired. So they can kick rocks with this whole, but the ratio to interceptions to the touchdowns that he threw. Tom Brady is 44 years old. He played every game this year, and he fucking, he led every. If I would have told you going into this year that he would lead in every single category, not Patrick Mahomes, not Josh Allen, not fucking Aaron Rodgers,
Herbert.
but it was going to be Tom Brady at 44 years old was going to lead in all those things. You would have probably been like, oh, you're such a Tom Brady lover. But the truth is, my guy is the best. He is Thanos. He is Darth Vader. He'll let you know when he's ready to be. And if he does lose to the Rams or Green Bay, I guarantee you he's back next year and we're right back in the thick of this. But both of those teams, the Rams and Green Bay, I don't know if I can say the same thing because the Rams are going to be decimated by they're not going to be able to keep all these people.
Yeah, they're recklessly spending
they
money.
have no first round picks because they've gotten rid of all of
not
them
until 2024.
So
I think.
they are about to be in a desert wasteland of oh shit, what have we done?
Yeah.
And I like what they're going for broke, and this is it. This is going for broke. You have a chance right here.
Yeah, they need to win this year.
They gotta win, and this is the biggest game of the year. Honestly, I believe that because if they do have to go to Green Bay, I think that's maybe a little less pressure for them. But if they can't beat Tom Brady, then they're not going to win a Super Bowl. I don't know why, but I just feel like that this is the biggest game for Matt Stafford, and he's going to lose. Let's see. San Francisco at Dallas. Oh, man.
I just felt like running.
Man. I mean, there is no explanation to me of why you would call a quarterback sneak. This was the play that was called.
Fucking spiking the ball.
This was the play that was called. And
they called it like that.
They called the quarterback
that
sneak.
was designed that way.
Dak and Mike McCarthy after the game said we felt better about a 25-yard throw than a 35-yard throw.
But you didn't have any time.
Hold on. You had no time left. You've played like shit the entire game.
Right. You got like
think that it's
3 shots at the end zone, and you fucking.
And honestly, with the amount of penalties, the stupid fucking penalties that they had, they totally deserve to lose that game. The amount of time, Randy Gregory at the very end there, dragging that offensive lineman to the ground after Deebo Samuel was already 6 yards past you. It was like, Tony Romo's like, why are you even doing that? Like, it doesn't even. You got beat. It is what it is. You're taking it out on this offensive lineman and clearly holding him as you take him to the ground. What's the point here? What a lot of that game was just like Dallas seemed like they were just not coached very well, and they fell apart in the big moment.
You think McCarthy gonna be back?
Should he be? After you saw that,
I heard that. I think that. They said that they don't know why he wouldn't come back. I think it was
Jerry. If you're Jerry Jones and you're sitting up there again, I love all the Cowgirls fans saying the refs screwed us out of a chance to get a Hail Mary win. You guys have played like shit for fucking 3 quarters and 3/4 of that fourth quarter. You had not come close to where you weren't gonna score on no Hail Mary play. What the fuck are you talking about? There was no way that was gonna happen. They would have lined everybody up that they would have had to on the goal line, and they would have just batted it down. There's no way you're getting a Hail Mary win from a quarterback that just doesn't have a Hail Mary arm.
I just think that this is proof that you don't pay running backs.
No, look for what?
Yeah,
for Zeke, they couldn't do shit in this game. Tony Pollard, who was obviously injured and didn't do anything in this game. The running backs are cute and everything during the regular season, and that'd be great if you can get that in the postseason. But in the postseason,
you need the O-line.
Your quarterback has to make plays. Yeah. They have
But the offensive line is way more important than the fucking running back.
Yeah.
And if you're paying a fucking running back $15 million. Yeah. A fucking year, and your offensive line is shit.
Leonard Fournette. Look at these games where the running backs of the winner. I mean, Kansas City, the Rams that brought Cam Akers back after.
And Akers looked pretty good.
He hasn't played all fucking season. But again, Stafford had to make those plays. Yeah. Stafford had to throw the touchdowns to OBJ. I mean, Tampa Bay was doing it.
Mixon's probably the best running back.
Probably the best one, and they won with Joe Burrow too. Yeah. They didn't win with just Joe Mixon. They won because your quarterback has to make the play.
He has to make plays and not turn the fucking ball over.
Derek Carr played like shit. Jalen Hurts played like shit. Mac Jones played like shit. Yeah. Dak Prescott played like shit. Ben played like shit. Kyler Murray played like shit. I mean, if your quarterback doesn't have it in the postseason, you can have all the running back money that you spent, and that's honestly another reason why I went Bengals over Tennessee here. Yes, and they're going to try to.
Yeah, but that's a different running back.
I know, but they're gonna force it to him, and Cincinnati knows
He's gonna
it.
fucking plow.
I hope so.
Oh God, I love.
I
Derrick
hope you're
Henry.
right. I like
love
Derrick Henry too. But I mean,
That's my boy.
Did Adrian Peterson ever win?
No.
And did Barry Sanders ever win?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Emmitt Smith had a good quarterback.
and he also had a fucking hell of an offensive line.
Yeah, he had a hell of an offensive line. He had
And a hell of a defense.
And Troy Aikman's a good quarterback.
Troy Aikman, I don't think he ever really won games. He just didn't fucking lose them.
Fuck it up.
Yeah.
Don't Derek Carr me.
Right.
Don't throw an interception at the very last play of the game.
And wasn't that what Hurts did? Hurts threw like 3 interceptions.
He threw a lot of interceptions. Mac Jones had a really bad game. He threw plenty of interceptions. I mean, Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts are kids in this, but Dak's not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
Dak's also a well-paid.
He's the highest
paid
player in the NFL. I think that's what they were saying yesterday.
If you pay Dak this way, and this, first of all, if you are going to do a quarterback sneak, and you saw him at about 8 yards of running,
slide.
He kind of thought about, okay, I should get down. But then he was like, no, I can get more. Okay, idiot. You can get more, but now you've thrown everybody off. Now everybody's sprinting up to the line, including, and also, you don't hand the ball to your center. That's not how this works. The center doesn't get to say, this is where the ball is, go. You gotta give it to the fucking, all of them were saying that. Tony Romo was like, you never give the ball to your center. That's not how, that's never how it works. You gotta give it to the ref. Like, you'll see the receivers pick the ball up and throw it to the ref because they're trying to we gotta get it in his hands. He's gotta be the one to put the ball down, not my fucking center. The center has nothing to do with this. It was just so mismanaged by Dak. Dak
He's only
just not
the only
that
people
guy.
paid higher than him is Mahomes and Allen,
which is fair. And Dak is not that guy. He is not going to win you a Super Bowl. He's not. He's not going to be able to get you there.
He's probably the best quarterback that won't. He's like right there on that cusp.
But I mean,
he's better than Carson Wentz.
We have Phillip Rivers every now and then, you know.
Yeah, that's what he's Phillip Rivers.
We have those
Dan
guys
Marino.
that float around there, and they just can never fucking get it done. They can never get into that Donovan McNabb, that are they're always right there, but they're just not quite
Steve
good
McNair.
enough. Yeah, Steve McNair, that's a good one. That's who he is.
Yeah,
that's who Dak is.
He's just. Almost.
And you better love it because he ain't going
Well, see, that's
nowhere.
the problem because you can win a Super Bowl without a good quarterback, but you have to have a dominant defense.
Yep. And their defense fell apart.
Well, when you pay your quarterback $40 million a year, you can't have a dominant defense.
You can't pay for a dominant defense. Tom Brady knows that. Tom Brady takes pay cuts all the time because he knows.
And he has his whole fucking career.
Yep. And I know that I'm only as good as my defense can take me and my fucking receivers.
And how much money do you think that's
to.
made him by taking pay cuts? I bet you he's made more money by winning championships and taking pay cuts than he would have if he
How
just
many
fucking...
guys' careers are cut short because they can't get it done and they can't win? Yeah. I mean, Phillip Rivers in this is maybe an outlier if he got all kinds of second chances, but nobody would sign Phillip Rivers right now to a big deal.
No,
but
not to a big deal.
Every fucking team at 44 years old, every team, San Francisco included, every fucking team would say at 44 years old, how much do you want? And I will get rid of Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay would say it right now. I promise. There is not a team that you could name me that would not. Kansas City would seriously consider it. They would be like, oh, I mean, I love him.
Probably just these three: Cincinnati, Buffalo, Kansas City.
I mean, that's probably it, right? Maybe, and you telling me Buffalo wouldn't think about it?
Maybe for a year.
You telling me Buffalo wouldn't go, hey, Josh.
I'm thinking they wouldn't say, oh, we'll get rid of this guy.
Well, but I'm just saying everybody would take the 44-year-old over what they've got going on.
If Tom Brady said,
now.
hey, I'll take the league minimum, I want to play for you for 1 year.
And he would never get paid $75 million for a fucking one. Anyways.
Did we finish those games? We did, didn't we?
Well, we talked about Arizona and the Rams a little bit. We didn't really talk about Kansas City beat the fuck. I mean, listen, Pittsburgh had no business being here.
Yeah, they should have been
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, or even the Chargers would have been a better.
Yeah, it would have been a better game. But Pittsburgh had no business being in this game, and they looked totally outmatched. I don't think Ben Roethlisberger should be back, but I'll explain why. So that takes us to this divisional round next week. We talked about Cincinnati and Tennessee. What you're taking Tennessee? I'm taking
Tennessee.
I mean, they're not a lot of big spreads this week. 5.5 by Green Bay is the biggest one. Tennessee's a 3.5 point favorite.
I'm just impressed with what they did when he was gone.
I know.
And now to get him back, and I just love Derrick Henry.
But Ryan Tannehill is going to have to make plays.
Yeah.
There's going to have to
Julio
be a play.
playing in this?
I don't know.
I think he is.
AJ Brown played well.
Brown's playing. If
these last couple of weeks, and he's got another week to rest up, so he should be good to go. I totally understand what you're saying, and I'm obviously taking the road team, and I'm going against the grain here.
I just want to see him do what he did in the first fucking half of the season in these playoffs, and I like Vrabel. I like a lot of things about Tennessee.
Should be a good game though. I don't see Cincinnati laying an egg here. I see them fighting, and I see this being a close game.
I wouldn't be shocked if they won.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I'm excited. That's the Saturday early game, and then Saturday night is Green Bay with San Francisco coming to town again. I'm kind of rooting for San Francisco. I like the way they play. I don't know if Bosa will be back.
You're gonna lay those points though. He's in concussion protocol. He should be back.
Yeah. I can't imagine him not wanting to play. I'm sure he wants to play. Yeah. So
I think I'd take San Francisco in the points.
Yeah, 5.5 is a pretty big spread for a division round game.
It's going to be cold,
but it's probably going to be cold. And I'm going to take Green Bay in this. I want Tom Brady going to Lambeau again and doing it again. I want the story. I want it for Tom. But I would not be surprised if San Francisco won. I really wouldn't. Green Bay has a habit of taking a shit in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers included in that. Obviously, I took Tampa Bay over the Rams.
I will too.
And I'm going to take Buffalo over Kansas City. I like the way Buffalo's look these last. I mean, when they've needed these wins here in this, and especially with New England, that was a big game for them. I
hope so, but I'm taking Kansas City.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think Vegas. But look at Vegas. Not a big spread there.
Well, I mean, it is the fucking second round of the playoffs.
Yeah,
there shouldn't be a big spread. They should be very close games.
So 2.5 point favorite is Kansas City.
There's 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday.
2 and 2. Yep. 2 and 2. So this is Sunday. Sunday at the morning game, I'll get to wake up.
So we're only disagreeing. Oh, I'm taking all the home teams.
Okay. Well, and that's what Vegas says, and that's realistically that's what should happen. In the AFC, I guess I'm hoping on some miracles, but the NFC, I'm expecting both home teams to win as well. So fantasy football, a little wrap up here. I talked about it a little bit in my single show 2 weeks ago, but as we expected, I didn't. It's like 60 points. He's like 60 points ahead of Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, really?
Ahead of Jonathan Taylor. Actually,
well, he kind of took a shit the last few weeks.
Cooper Kupp was more than quarterbacks. He was
scored
the
more
highest point scorer than all the players.
Wow.
Yeah, it was ahead of who was.
He was one of the guys I was targeting too in my fucking mock drafts. Him and Debo, and I didn't get either one of them.
I totally understand you taking him number one. I kind of think it's what you should do
next year.
You gotta. How do you explain to me where you don't take him number one? How is he not the best player this year? I have given up on running backs, and I am now a wide receiver whore, and he is the wide receivers of all wide receivers.
You're not wrong. And
oh no, okay, that was just in my scoring. That was in the.
Yeah, but your scoring favors the quarterbacks.
Wait a minute. You're right. And this is in my league. So wait, let me go to one of the. But yeah, Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams again had another stellar year. Now, if Aaron Rodgers is not in Green Bay, you can count on that not being the same thing. Right. It all depends on if they roll with Jordan Love or if they try to find something else. Let me just make sure that I'm not crazy.
Eckler was a good one.
Austin Eckler's another. Debo, number 5. Justin Jefferson, your boy. Yeah, so, okay, this is ESPN scoring.
See, Jefferson's going to be on the top of that list
Cooper Kupp scored 439. Josh Allen scored 402. Justin Herbert, 380.
Josh Allen was the highest scoring quarterback?
Josh Allen, 402. But Cooper Kupp, man.
Well, I mean, honestly, especially with your format.
Yeah.
You could go wide receiver the first 4 picks and just build your team that way. The thing with running backs is that, first of all, they get hurt more than anybody else. So it's much easier to pick up a running back mid-season off the waiver
and
wire.
the random ones show up every year.
Right. And then
Cordell Patterson.
I've done that. I mean, that was my strategy for several
James
years.
Robinson last year.
There's still like, there's something like that makes your heart feel good about having one of them top 5 running backs. You know.
No, here's the thing. If I'm like the number 5 pick, and let's say the first couple of picks go Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, somebody goes
Christian
crazy and they go Ezekiel Elliott. Okay? Let's just say that randomly that happens. It will cause me to panic and say, oh no, I'm not going to get a running back. I'm going to come back around and they're not going to be there. But if that's the way it goes and Cooper Kupp is sitting there for me at 5, I've got to evolve. Because as much as I love the running back, fuck that. I'm getting the king.
I'm definitely not going 3 running backs. You know, I wouldn't do that. Your first 3 picks. So that was
but that's what most of the time happens, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in most fantasy leagues, your first round is usually we all kind of pick a
you
quarterback.
Went running back 1, 2, and 3, right?
No, yeah. Now that's got to die. I mean but that's the old school mentality. Like that way. 5 or 6 years ago, when running backs were more valuable, or 10 years ago, where it was LaDainian Tomlinson.
Right. Well, when you had more bell cows,
right? Like, and I used to be the wild person that didn't do it, and I used to be the person that was like, I'm gonna draft Rob Gronkowski early, or I'm gonna solidify my quarterback position earlier in the rounds, and do that at like the 3rd pick, and people are gonna be like, "Whoa, you're crazy," but I just love Tom Brady. And now, as I've gotten older, I'm like, man, I need like my last year I won, but I pieced together running backs, but I won. I had to be. Why didn't I fucking see that? Why didn't I go? Yeah, but you won, even though you found running backs off the waiver wire and you won with them. That's the way you got to do it. You got to go get these big wide receivers. I mean, look at the.
The other thing is that if a wide receiver gets hurt, there's not somebody that's gonna come and step up and take their place. At least not the way a running back does, right? It's just different. The top wide receivers are top wide receivers, and there's not somebody that steps up and takes that role over if they go down. Whereas with the running back, somebody's going to step up and take that role over and quite possibly perform just as well.
And I mean, if we're talking about injuries, because you're right, like running backs get hurt so much. If I'm looking at these top guys, they didn't miss a lot of time. Mm-hmm. Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams. I think Debo maybe missed a couple of weeks. Justin Jefferson maybe missed a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. Or no, did Justin Jefferson play? Jamar Chase, so. Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs missed a couple of weeks. But Deontay Johnson, Mike Evans, Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, most of those guys stayed healthy.
Keenan Allen. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys.
Fournette was hurt.
Yeah, but Fournette still ended up. Fournette was a crazy season, though. And
so, if you look at the running backs
in there,
there's a lot of good receivers.
None of the running backs were the running backs that we all thought were going to be there. There is no Dalvin Cook or Alvin Kamara in this top group. Christian McCaffrey's long away from this.
And fucking
Zeke snuck in here, but I mean Saquon Barkley's not here. I mean, there's just my boy Najee made it in the top 10 though. I like that, and it was just from consistency too. He never had monster weeks, but
yeah, I mean, I think only Eckler and Taylor were drafted in the first round,
right?
Consistently.
Yep. Joe Mixon wasn't.
Mixon was like 3.
Ezekiel Elliott was, and he ended up 20. But
Hunter Renfrow, man.
Yeah, what a surprise there. And Jalen Waddle, I see that Jalen Waddle. I see it going into next year too. But yeah, fantasy football next year. I just if you take Cooper Kupp number 1, I don't think you're crazy. I think you're actually a genius.
I don't think you're crazy either. I think Justin Jefferson is going to be on the top of that list next year.
Yeah,
as far as receivers,
I think Justin Jefferson.
He's really good.
But who's the quarterback of?
Is Cousins' contract up?
No.
All this is
let me explain my craziness. Let me explain the crazy world.
Yeah.
So I drew this madness up last night because I was thinking to myself, okay, who are going to be the quarterbacks on the market next year? We know a couple of the ones that we think are going to be on the market. Now we think
Garoppolo.
We think. We think that those teams won't. Garoppolo most likely because they're not going to re-sign them after what they just did with Trey Lance.
So Garoppolo's contract is up?
Yes. And they could look fucking Aaron Rodgers in the face and say, I know we told you we weren't going to tag you, but we made it to the NFC Championship game when we lost to Brady again.
Play then.
Okay. Well, and they might get in that standoff. I don't know. I just see a crazy standoff there.
I thought that they did this last year where they're like, okay, you come back for one more year and we'll let you go.
They did. And apparently they have agreed to let him go.
Peacefully let him go. Yeah.
We shall see. But Deshaun
And you think
Watson,
he's going to Pittsburgh?
I think that they grant him his wish and they let him free, and he makes a bonehead move. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the same judge of talent as Tom Brady is, where I think the teams to go to right now are Vegas or even Denver, maybe, that is right on the cusp. Miami, who's right on the cusp. That's where he should go. But I think that he thinks an illustrious, this is a great organization. They've got receivers
Got
at
a
the
hell of a
wazoo.
coach, man.
Hell of a coach. A
Good
defense
running
that's on the
back.
rise.
Shitty offensive line.
I just don't see it working. I don't see them winning a championship, but I think it's where he goes. I think Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers think Denver and Pittsburgh are places that people go to win championships. And going places like Miami, they wouldn't have the balls to do what Brady did, where he would go somewhere like Miami or San Francisco. Well, San Francisco is a good organization. He wanted to go to San Francisco. But going to Miami for Aaron Rodgers, it's not what he's going to do. It's what he should do. If he goes to Miami with Jalen
Colts
Waddle.
would be a good place to play.
Colts would be a great place to go. I just don't think he's smart enough to realize that. And that's one of my first crazy. So one of the crazy trade. So most of them are the same. Buffalo, New England, the Jets will stick with Zach Wilson, Cincinnati.
That's a crazy one, though.
Yeah. So that's one of the big trades that I see happening. I see them picking up telling Miami that they will just tag Baker Mayfield and send a first round pick and Baker Mayfield for Tua, because I think that Cleveland believes, we're not good enough for this and we need to, and then they get in another trade where they send Tua to Indianapolis for Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz is then cut by whatever team that is, by Cleveland that he goes to.
And ends up in Minnesota. Okay, wow.
Ends up in Minnesota because Kirk Cousins wants out of Minnesota. So Kirk Cousins finds a way to get himself in another three-way crazy trade with Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson being sent. Daniel Jones being sent to us, and Kirk Cousins then getting traded. Minnesota has Daniel Jones, and Carson Wentz signs as a free agent after he gets cut. Wow. You really have to go down the crazy rabbit hole.
Cousins is coming to Houston. Watson's going to
the Giants.
That would be a great move for the Giants.
A great move for the Giants and a great move for us, because I don't think it makes them that much better. And I'm assuming we're getting a boatload of picks in return
with
of
Kirk
this.
Cousins. He's not a Super Bowl
He's
winning
not great, but
quarterback.
it's a good Band-Aid, and I think it's a good trade for what we really will do is, in this crazy world that I'm living in, we're flipping Daniel Jones, where we're going to get a bunch of first-round picks from the Giants in this trade, because they're going to give us, because that's what I assume you're going to ask for. If you want Deshaun Watson, you got to give us 3 first-round picks and your current quarterback, because I need a replacement, because I don't have one. Right. So then
we got Davis fucking Mills, man.
No, we don't.
He was like 7. He was one of the top quarterbacks.
He was He's not winning me a Super Bowl. He's on a Mac
young.
Jones
He's
level.
a kid.
But then that's why you go get a bunch of first-round picks and steal Daniel Jones for them and pull a draft day a la Kevin Costner and Cleveland, and then you turn Daniel Jones around and you say, okay, Kirk Cousins wants out of his contract. He doesn't want to be here. We'll give you one of these first-round picks that we just got, one of these 3 first-round picks that we just got, and we'll give you Daniel Jones for Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
I like it. It's better than what we got right now. I think you keep Davis Mills behind Kirk Cousins. The problem is, too, Kirk's got a massive contract. Yeah. So we got to let that run out while Davis Mills is developing.
Watson, then it should be.
I also like sending Deshaun Watson somewhere where he's not going to win, because he's not going to win on the Giants, and they'll still have a bad record, and we'll get a better pick because of it.
Shit, with Deshaun Watson, they'll win that division.
They probably will. They'll be much better. They'll be much better with Deshaun Watson.
There was a few times this year that the Giants didn't look that bad.
So in this crazy world, I've now sent Baker Mayfield to Miami.
Right.
I
Tua went to
I think it's actually a step down from Tua, and I think they do worse because of it, and we see how bad Baker Mayfield it is. But I think that Miami, by firing Brian Flores, they're showing me that maybe they're a little maybe they're a little trigger happy, and maybe they'll just be like, we can't do this with Tua. And I think that's what gets Indianapolis's attention, and they say, we do want Tua, and we will trade you for Tua, but we need a partner in this, and that's where Cleveland comes in. And Cleveland gets Carson Wentz. If Cleveland loses Baker Mayfield and they don't find anybody in this draft, I just see them saying, fuck it, we don't want... Maybe Carson Wentz is there, but maybe Big Ben signs as a free agent just because he's looking for a good place to play, and Cleveland does have a pretty good team. I don't know why you would sign Ben Roethlisberger.
There is no way.
But I didn't want to leave him off of this. No way. So maybe
if Big Ben plays next year, that he plays in Cleveland.
Well,
there's no way if he spent this many years in fucking Pittsburgh that he goes to Cleveland.
And see, the problem was I didn't want to write Daniel Jones anywhere on this because I think he sucks. So I was like, okay, do I leave Carson Wentz in Cleveland where he got traded to, or do I put Daniel Jones down here in Minnesota? And I just thought, man, I got to get Carson Wentz and Ben Roethlisberger because I think both of them are better than fucking Daniel Jones. I don't want to put Daniel Jones anywhere on that list, but he could be floating around somewhere in all this trade craziness.
Okay, so let's go to the West here.
So the West, Patrick Mahomes. Now, Matt Ryan, I think, could maybe request this. I think Matt Ryan is smart enough to realize that Vegas is a good team, and I think Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers miss on it. And I think maybe if they don't find anybody in this draft, maybe whatever this new coach comes in says, maybe this is like a Matt Stafford type trade. Maybe they trade first round picks for him. I don't think they should, but I think they definitely could. And then that makes Derek Carr get bought out of wherever he's at. And I think he signs at, if Atlanta does, I think Derek Carr's contract might be up, actually. I don't think they re-signed him because I don't think Gruden wanted that. So yeah, I think Matt Ryan.
That's right, because Gruden doesn't like him.
Right, and so I think Derek Carr could be a free agent, and I think he goes to Washington because Taylor Heineke is just on a 1-year deal, so Taylor Heineke will be gone, and they don't have anybody there in Washington. So I think Derek Carr finds a home in Washington, and I think Taylor Heineke is another Band-Aid for Carolina because Carolina will swing and miss on all of these big quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson doesn't want to go there. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to go there. I don't think Russell Wilson wants to go there. I don't even think Derek Carr will want to go there. So I think they'll swing and miss on all of them, and then Taylor Heineke will end up in Carolina. The big one,
Derek Carr is a free agent.
Yeah, and the big one that I see, the free agent that I see, the one that everyone's going to go, ooh, and I think he will get paid, is that after Russell Wilson gets his way out of Seattle and goes to Denver, which is one of the places that we all think is going to be open, I think Jimmy G goes to Seattle on a big deal. I think Seattle doesn't want to play this limbo game. I don't think they want to stay, and it'll keep him in the same division that he's been in. He's used to playing these teams. I think Jimmy G signs a big deal with Seattle. Not a bad matchup either. It'll maybe make them be a little less pass happy and maybe go back to the run a little more, which is how you got to win with
Seattle's
Jimmy G.
Got to rebuild now.
They got to rebuild.
They've been riding this team for fucking shit.
Which maybe they don't give him a bunch of money. Maybe they just worry about the future. And after trading Russell Wilson, maybe Teddy Bridgewater is there in Seattle. And I think...
God, I just can't see Cam Newton getting a fucking job. Daniel Jones is better than Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That was funny, though. I was like, who should I put on Atlanta? Because after Matt Ryan leaves from Vegas, and if Vegas is trading a bunch of first-round picks, I'm assuming Atlanta either A is going to try to draft somebody.
What about... I'm sorry.
Or they're in a rebuild.
What about... fucking what's his name? W's.
Oh, yeah, I left him off here. I honestly forgot about him. I haven't put
Winston.
Jameis Winston.
His fucking name.
Well, see, and I see all this exodus from Denver after Russell Wilson gets traded there. After Russell Wilson, I think gets traded to Denver. Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock, all those guys are gone. So I think Drew Lock maybe finds a home in New Orleans. I didn't even think about Jameis Winston. Yeah. Honestly, it didn't even cross my mind.
Because he should.
He might go somewhere. Maybe he's.
He'll probably stay in New Orleans.
He might. And maybe he goes to Green Bay. Maybe he goes to Atlanta. One of these.
He's definitely going to get a starting job.
Yeah, Jameis will get a starting job, and I completely left him off this list because I forgot about him completely. But yeah, this was a crazy little road that I went down last night. This is how I ended up staying up till 3 a.m. because I was like, and then he'll get traded to here. And I was like, none of this is going to happen. But
well, a couple of these things will happen, but. Well, the NFL is so like
Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Jimmy G, Derek Carr. These are all people that are going to move around.
Of good, I mean, like those are big names.
Big names.
Good quarterbacks.
And then you'll have those guys like Teddy Bridgewater and Cam Newton and Drew Lock and all these other names that I'm naming that are kind of floating around, and we're looking for Washington will probably be like, oh, fuck, we still don't have a quarterback.
And you'd think, what's his name, too, from Carolina?
Sam Darnold.
He's probably going to end up somewhere.
I think he still might be under contract.
Well, he might be there.
He might be the starter, but I put that for only for a certain amount of time because Sam Darnold always gets hurt. But
and it's funny how like the first 3 or 4 weeks we're like, oh, Sam Darnold's a good quarterback, and then it was like, oh wait, no, he's not.
Yeah. Well, dipping just a little bit into basketball to talk about my man LeBron. Listen. The Lakers suck. They are not going to win a championship, but at 37 years old, just like my man Tom Brady, it is incredibly impressive what this guy's doing. Yeah. You have never seen a 37-year-old do what he's doing. And
it's very. And I would actually argue that basketball could be harder on your body than fucking.
Especially he's playing quarterback. I mean, he's getting the ball out in 2 seconds. Nobody sometimes even touches him. I mean, the wear and tear of jumping up and down. Just alone, just
Have you played? When's the last time you played basketball?
No, never. When I was 16.
I was so sore for like 9 days.
Yeah. Fuck out of here.
My knees hurt.
How much cardio hurt. This fat guy? This is fucking. That's terrifying. I'm out.
No, it's impressive.
I'm done. It's unbelievable. And he is a bad GM, just like the other GOAT is, just like Jordan is. He's not a very good GM, and he constantly makes moves that I don't understand, like Kevin Love and now Russell Westbrook.
And Russell Westbrook, honestly, is the worst. Is the what's fucking holding that team back?
Absolutely.
Can't turn the ball over.
Anthony Davis is out, and so you can't do anything about that. But Russell Westbrook is a cancer on every team that he goes on. Every single team that he goes on, they lose. And I think for the longest time, we looked at the triple doubles and we're like, man, that's impressive. But he was doing them in losing situations. So now we look at it and we go, oh well, it's really not that impressive.
Yeah,
like you're getting triple doubles in these Laker losses too. Like who gives a fuck?
Right. Well, I mean, stats are one thing, but the one that matters, is the wins.
Yeah, just a really letdown from a man LeBron because he is playing at such a godlike level right now. He is killing it at 37 years old, but he just doesn't have.
Do you think the energy? There's a scenario where he's just says, you know what, fuck it, trade me? Or is he too? Is their ego too big, thinking that
Here's
he can?
The thing. 2 of the losses with the Kevin Durant Warriors team, I think it broke his spirit as far as thinking I can catch the rings. I can get there as far as winning championships. I can win 6 and I can be considered with Jordan. That's how I can get my GOAT level is because I can have 6 and he has 6. I think he kind of saw the rest of the league has joined me in creating super teams, and now I have no real shot of really winning championships unless I can talk other people to come and play with me, but nobody wants to come and play with me. Everybody hates me. I'm the fucking pariah of the NBA. Nobody fucking likes me. And so now my only shot to get GOAT status with him is to get more points than Kareem. If I can be the number 1 on the points, if my records can be so unobtainable just like Tom Brady.
And that should happen.
And he will be that. Yeah. His stats and like who's going to play as long as him? Who's playing till they're 37 at this? Like, is Steph's 33? Steph is maybe the only one that you can make an argument for that he would play as long as, but Steph went to college. Yeah. And Steph has wear and tear on his body.
4 years in college.
And points-wise, he's nowhere close to being where he's going to pass them. His 3-point stuff won't be touched, but his his getting to the total points thing isn't going to happen. So he's not going to catch him.
Yeah, the college thing I think is going to.
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's huge.
4 years longer.
Kevin Durant played at the University of Texas. I mean, a lot of these guys. LeBron walked into the league and he was a man.
He was the last. Wasn't he the last?
Last
class
one.
that
Last class.
could come straight from high
Last
school?
class. Last
Surprised
chance
they
for
don't
that to
go back
happen. Yeah. So
So speaking of the NBA, who do you like then?
Golden State. I mean, shit. Holy shit.
Brooklyn looked pretty good when they played the Bulls the other day.
Yeah, but for how long do you have all these guys?
I was going to say, if all three
for
of
how
them are
long do you
playing.
have all these guys? Kevin Durant is always hurt. Kyrie's mentally a fucking dandelion. I mean, you never know which way that guy's going to go.
Do you think him and Antonio Brown hang out?
They should. They would get along. They'd be like, yeah, man, let's just say crazy shit at each other and just fucking drink Hennessy.
Come up with stuff.
Yeah, so Kyrie,
I took my shirt off in the middle of the game.
I got to say, though, because I stand on the side of Kyrie on his whole thing. I mean, it is...
Yeah. You shouldn't have to
can't
get
make
fucking
me do
next.
this.
Yeah.
You can't make me do this. And I like the fact that he's taking a stand. And I think that the Brooklyn Nets are pussies for the way that they're kind of doing it. Where
It's
like,
New York that's doing it.
Well,
Like the actual
that's-
state of New York, right?
Yeah, whatever. I think if the Nets really pushed, they're a big money maker for that city. I think if they push, we might see things change. But I don't think they're pushing. And I think they're going to lose because of it. And I think that other teams the Bulls are good. And
What about Phoenix?
Phoenix is good. Golden State's
Chris
good.
Paul's gotta stay healthy, though, and that
Utah's
seems to be
good.
the one
I'll tell you the surprise is the Memphis
Dallas?
Grizzlies.
Ja
Morant is for real.
He's awesome.
He is for real. And some of those other players on that fucking Memphis team are good too.
They won,
Steven Adams.
Have they lost? Oh, they did. They lost to Dallas.
The Grizzlies.
They were on like a 9.
Yeah, they were killing it. Yeah, they beat the Warriors down in that run. I mean, they were really impressing me, and they're going to be there in the playoffs, and they're going to be a tough out. So,
Yeah.
but
Phoenix and Golden State. See, I don't think the Bulls are for real. I've watched them play a few games.
Well, they're such a weird team. It's such a weird group of
they don't have anybody that is the standout star. Like, I guess DeRozan, but
Zach LaVine was that for them before all these other guys showed up. So I think you might see in the playoffs, I think you might see them rely more on him. But he's definitely kind of had to take a back seat because DeMar DeRozan's getting a lot of these shots. Now they've got Caruso, they've got Lonzo. They've got all this weird stuff that they've kind of got to account for. But I mean, their record is good and they'll be there
still
in the
number one
playoffs.
in the East, but
and they're going to be there. I see them being a tough out, but I'm with you. I think Milwaukee beats them. I think Brooklyn beats them. But the East is really weak.
Cleveland's playing a lot better.
The East is weak, though. Yeah, and I see some of that stuff out of Cleveland, but
definitely Denver, Utah, Phoenix.
the 5 over there in the West is really what I think the cream of the crop is, and I think they beat Brooklyn and Milwaukee this year. I think last year was a year of injuries. If Clay plays back to his level that he used to be, Golden State is scary.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get James Wiseman back here in a little bit, and he's a good big man for them.
Didn't they draft a big man a couple years ago?
James Wiseman.
Oh, that's who it was.
Yeah, that's who it is. And he's been out this whole year. He hasn't even played. And they fucking have this monster lead. And look.
Well, there's behind Phoenix.
I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron could pull off a miracle and somehow win a first round playoff game, because they probably will get in
and shit now, right?
They probably will get in. It would be awesome to see him like upset a top seed and beat Phoenix or Golden State or something like that. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
How about this? Let's say trade deadline's coming up. The Lakers ain't gonna make it. LeBron goes to Chicago.
Oh my God! First of all, in the scenario, I didn't play out the scenario that you put out there for me because I think that he's so ingrained in the points thing.
He went there. He's building this team. Would he give up on it?
His business and everything is like in LA, and I think he just like has that mentality of like, my life is here in LA. I'm not going
wants to
anywhere.
Stay there. He's going to end this.
But if what you're saying is true,
devil's
wherever he goes, they could win a championship. If you put think about LeBron on that goddamn Golden State Warriors team right now.
Oh, my God.
Trade Andrew Wiggins and fucking whoever else you want for LeBron James, and you have Steph Curry. You have Steph Curry and LeBron James. You can play
give
4
him
on 5.
Wiggins and fucking what's his name?
Jordan
fucking
Poole. You can have
Green.
Well, you kind of need Draymond. Because he does the sloppy shit that he does the shit that LeBron won't do anymore.
Well, yeah, but would you trade? You would definitely do it.
I would definitely do it, and I think Golden State would do it, and you would win. You would be LeBron and Steph on the same team is unfair because they do exactly what the other one wants.
Opposite. Yeah.
LeBron wants somebody who is going to move without the ball and can just catch and shoot. Yeah. That's literally who Steph is. And Steph wants somebody who has the perfect basketball IQ to set up the plays on the court. I mean, Steve Kerr would jizz in his pants. He would go, "Oh my God, are you serious? I have what Kevin Durant can't be," because Kevin Durant is another shooter. So Steve Kerr had to create this offense that's always moving to the 3-point line. But if he had LeBron that could cut in and be the dominant finish at the hole that LeBron
he would be their
is,
point guard.
He would.
Yeah.
And then you don't, and you have
With fucking Steph
Clay
and
and
fucking
Steph?
Clay.
Oh!
Each side. Oh my God.
Oh no, undefeated. And I mean, you put him anywhere. Put him.
Yeah, but again, like Chicago.
Put him on Denver.
Put him in Denver.
Put him on Denver. They win a championship. Put him on fucking Utah with Donovan Mitchell. He wins a championship. Put him in Phoenix with Devin Booker and Chris Paul and lose some of these other guys. I mean,
Booker's really good.
Yeah. You put him anywhere in a winning situation. You put him anywhere where they're already. Put him on Memphis. Give him John Morant. Watch him win with John Morant. Put him anywhere where he's got these. You know, honestly, he should have kept the young crew that he had from before.
Kuzma,
he's killing Brandon Ingram's killing it. Fucking Lonzo's a good player.
Yeah.
I mean, if he would have had that young core that he had before, they would be a much better team than they are now. Yeah. They would be a much better team than this fucking. He's just relying on Malik Monk all the time, who's a good player, but you can't count on
Davis can't stay healthy.
No,
and if he he's their best player. You know,
Russell Westbrook sucks.
Yeah.
He sucked everywhere he went. I hated it when he got traded to the Rockets. I was like, this is a terrible idea, and he's terrible on the fucking Lakers.
He is a freak athlete. He is so explosive. And he's fun to watch, but it doesn't translate into basketball wins.
And Skip Bayless always says, and it's hilarious, that he has 2 left hands. He's always throwing the ball out of bounds. Yeah. He's always going in for a fucking layup that looks like, what the fuck was that? It wasn't even close. Like, what? I just don't understand. And like, they beat the Kings last night, and he had they beat the Jazz last night. I'm sorry, they beat the Jazz, and he had a poster dunk over Rudy Gobert.
He did. Yes,
so now you're gonna see for this whole league.
Well, and so it's that kind of shit that you're like,
he's an athlete. He's so good.
But he goes hard. Dude.
He's a loser.
He goes hard.
He's a loser.
So Ja is a lot like that. Ja goes hard.
He kind of reminds me of Russell Westbrook. Yeah. He's got explosive, the kind of Derrick Rose-ish.
He's a little smaller,
yeah. You're kind of on that level of you're so explosive. I'm worried for your knees.
You see him almost fucking hit his head on the rim the other day.
Ja is unbelievable.
He was up and then he was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
ducks his
unbelievable.
Head down.
Unbelievable.
And he's probably only like 6'2".
And old fat ass Zion Williamson has played himself right out of the NBA before it's even begun, huh?
I haven't even fucking paid attention to him.
Oh, he's huge. He was like
really?
300 pounds.
Eating himself out.
Yeah, he's eating himself out of the league. Well, he got hurt, so he's recovering, so he couldn't work out, he said. But yeah, the NBA is coming down. We're getting down to it here, down to the nitty gritty. It's getting towards at least the halfway point. And
when's the NBA ending? Like the season ends in May.
Maybe? Yeah, May, I think. Yeah. So we'll be. I think those teams we just named. I don't think it's going to change much from there. I could see Dallas, Luka maybe making.
Well, Luka hasn't been playing, or he just came back,
right?
So
and
he's so good.
I could see him. They're going to be probably like the 6th seed, and
he's another dude that looks like he could use a fucking TB12 diet.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I mean, he's only like 22, but he looks kind of bad.
You see Luka at a YMCA and be like, "Oh, this kid ain't going to be that good," and then he'll fucking cook you,
fucking balling out.
So there were some things that came out this week. Okay. Actually, in the last couple of weeks, one of them is "Don't Look Up." Don't Look Up has Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Jennifer Lawrence, the Timothy Chalamet from the Dune movie. I mean, it has every famous person you can think of. It is about Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence are astrologists or whatever they meteorologists, and they see a comet that is going to hit. They find a comet that is going to make impact on Earth and be a world destroyer.
Right.
They go to the president, who is Meryl Streep, and they try to explain, this is such a big deal, and so it becomes this total politicized. That now you've got the left side that they want to send drones up and they want to try to push the comet out of the way. They have supposed to be like the Elon Musk of the group that's like, I can do it for this amount, and then it's played by Mark Rylance. It's really interesting. If a comet does come to strike the Earth, I can't imagine it being much different than like, spoiler alert, we fuck it up. we have a chance to do it right, but we fuck it up. We could send a bomb up there and just blow this comet out of the water and save ourselves, but we fuck it up and we kill the planet. And I can't imagine it going much different than it goes in the movie.
Yeah,
so
we'll fuck it up.
Jonah Hill is like Meryl Streep's son, but he's like chief of staff, and he's like a millennial. Like, he's really funny in it. It's a really funny movie. You should check it out.
Okay.
Bobba Fett is a Disney Plus. If you watch The Mandalorian, which I thought was really, really good. I'm not even really big on Star Wars. I'm not like a Star Wars crazy person, but I really like The Mandalorian. It was good action. And Bobba Fett is the same shit, where it's like good action, good story, good badass fight scenes. So Bobba Fett's also really good. And then the other thing that came out is Peacemaker, which is John Cena's spin-off TV show. And it is fucking hilarious.
From Suicide Squad.
I was shocked that he is making me laugh. And like,
John Cena made me laugh in Suicide Squad.
He was like the best part of Suicide Squad. So I thought, okay, this is going to work over
the
but
shark
in the
too.
show, man. Oh man, in the show he is absolutely killing it.
I'll have to watch that one.
So they put 3 episodes out. I've only watched 2 of them, but it's really good so far. Yeah, it's really funny. And the little spoiler alert, but it's like the very beginning of the first episode, and because in Suicide Squad, the movie, he gets shot in the throat. The whole building collapses on him. And just to kind of like make fun of whatever, we're just letting go of that. They're like, well, to be shot in the throat and a building fall on you, all you have is a broken clavicle. It's a pretty good. And he's like sitting there in the hospital room and he's looking at his x-rays. And he goes, Doc, can you do something about this x-rays? It really makes me look like I don't work on my small tissue muscles. It looks like I'm all just about bulk and size, and all I do is just hit the bench press when I go. Like, I work hard. Like, this is embarrassing. And he's like, the doctor's like, that's what you care about here, is what you look like in the x-rays? And he's like, yeah, like, this is like, I put a lot of hard work into my body. Like, this is ridiculous. It's so funny, just the way John Cena does. It's fucking awesome. Check out Peacemaker. That's really fucking good. But I think wow, we had a full board for a big week. This is going to be the only show this week.
Only one now.
Yeah. And we're going into the end of football here. When football goes away, we are going to be going into who the fuck knows. We're going to do what Dannon said, and y'all missed the first podcast always, but we're going to have some stuff loaded up here. Oh, in my singular shows. So I had the close tight zoom in, and I was leaning forward. I could lean forward and keep a little something out of the frame. But I think you knew what I was doing, and I think maybe that's what we can do. Maybe I can. Yeah, look, see, I'll just do this. You can't tell. You can't tell what I'm doing.
No one knows what you're doing.
These shows are going to go off the rails.
Yeah, we're going to get interesting.
We're going to get interesting. But thank you guys. Check out next week. Go to mybookie.com. MyBookie, back that Brinks track up. Back that ass up. We're ready.
What's up, Ryan? I know you're still watching. That's my brother.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
He says you're funny.
There's like 4 people that watch the show, and 2 of them are us.
He doesn't know anything about sports, though. He's like, but Josh is really funny.
Oh, awesome. All right. Thanks, Ryan. All right. Shout out to Ryan. Brought to you by Ryan. The show's brought to you by Ryan. Awesome, bro. All right. Well, y'all have a great one. Peace out. Fuck off.